Brahmin hai. That's what was him.
Yeah.
And if he didn't follow, that was his dharma.
Yes.
And if he didn't follow that, it would create in him plus the society. And for dharma, we think of why are there so many wars? What's happening? But for dharma, war is okay. There has to be war. For dharma, only for dharma.
Dharma yukta war. Yeah, sometimes that's why that example was given, that a
Yes.
society becomes. And then what you're talking about, like the rest of the chapter, it comes under that. The swadharma, because swadharma is something like this. You are born with a set of vasanas,
Yes.
and then you have to exhaust them, and that's the only thing you can do best.
Right. And
So you have no choice, because your body, mind will compel you to do that action. And that's why Krishna Bhagavan told Arjun, because he wanted to run away and meditate.
Yes.
And he said, sorry, you can't do that, because if you're going to go in this condition and go sit under the tree, you're going to be thinking about the war the whole time. You waste your life and
Yes.
exactly. So after you finish your dharma and adjust your mind and all, then you can go. Well, you cannot run away right now. That's what she said is absolutely true, and that will come later on in the chapter too, about swadharma, what is swadharma. So now let's go to, I don't know, you have the, oh, you have it, great.
Yeah.
And I think you have the same copy like mine.
Right.
Yes.
Except, oh yeah. I think it should be.
So we'll go with the Shanti part first.
Okay.
That's in Roman 12 or 13. Roman 13. In my book, in your book, I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, chalo, yeah, here it is. It's two, you found it, right?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
Bhadram Karne.
Bhadram Karne bhi. Yeah, sure.
Let's say it together. Om Bhadram Karne Vishunyam Devaha Bhadram Pashyem Makshapirya Chatraha Sthirai Rangai Sushtu Bhagam Sastanubhi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vridashavaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastina Staksharyo Arishtanemi Swastino Bruhaspatir Dhadatu Om
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Shirin, you want to read the English translation?
O ye gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. O worshipful ones, may we with our eyes see always what is auspicious. May we live the entire length of our allotted life, hale and hearty, offering our praises unto thee. May Indra, the ancient and the famous, Husan, the all-knowing, the Lord of swift motion, who saves us from all harms, and Brahaspati, who protects the spiritual wealth in us, bless us with the intellectual strength to understand the scriptures and the heroic heart to follow the teachings. Om, peace be, peace be, peace be.
Okay, so as I have said that we are on verse 36. So let's do the Sanskrit lead follow style. Tasma devam viditvainam
Tasmadevam viditvainam
Advaite yojayet smritim
Advaite yojayet smritim
Advaitam samanuprapya
Advaitam samanuprapya
Jadavalokamachare.
Jadavalokamachare.
Nisha, you want to read Sanskrit? Did you want to do the Sanskrit? She likes to each word. Yeah.
Ajam is birthless.
Wait, Tasmat.
That's smart.
Which one are you doing?
That's smart.
36.
194 page.
ज़्यादा heat नहीं हो गई जो?
हाँ, गर्म लग रहा है.
हाँ?
Somebody want
Is that
to
okay?
eat?
थोड़ा सा कम करे heat.
Yeah.
You want me to turn this fan on?
Yeah, just do that.
194 page.
194.
Right at the top.
Okay, yeah. I put something there.
हम की
Tasma.
different है थोड़ा सा.
Yeah,
Book,
they're
yeah,
cool.
because they are.
Tasmat, therefore. Tasmat means therefore. Evam. Viditva. Means having thus realized. Enam, this Atmam. Advaita means on the non-dual self. Yojat smritam. Identify your mind with it. Advaitam, non-dual self. Samun prapya, samnu prapya, having attained well. Jadvat, like an inert, insentient thing. Lokam, in the world. Acharet, should move about, live. Therefore, having realized this Atma to be such a nature, identify your mind with it, non-duality. Having realized fully the non-dual reality, therefore, move about in life as an inert, insentient thing.
Before we go, because it is connected to the last one,
Yeah.
let's just read the English translation of the last because it's tied up with the last
Yeah,
one.
okay. By the great seers of old, we are without attachment.
Who are without attachment.
Who are without attachment, fear and anger, who are deeply read and well established in the truths of the Upanishads. The self has been verily realized as totally devoid of all imaginations, and also that it is free from the illusions of the manifold world, and that it is eternally non-dual.
So basically, in this one, just to say it in simple language, he was talking about that the people who are self-realized, so they live without attachment, fear, and anger. So those were the three things they had conquered, and they were deeply read, means they knew the scriptures,
Yeah.
well established in the truths of Upanishads. So they were very well established, and so they had realized that truth which was devoid of all imaginations, meaning that we live in this mental zone, constantly thinking of past, future, and all that kind of imagination. And then it was free.
No, that
from
we're
the-
also full of attachments.
Yes.
Because of attachment, only the fear and anger comes.
Yes. And actually the past and future also we think only because of attachments only.
Yeah.
People who don't have that attachment, they won't be worrying about that. Because उसको फर्क ही नहीं पड़ेगा ना. Attach ही नहीं है तो उसको क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So you're right. It's all tied up. You can go this way to this way or this way to that way. And then he's saying that free from illusions of the manifold, because this, the word prapanch was used in the, this world is like prapanch, and that it is eternally non-dual. So I think one of the things for us is, and sometimes Kamalaji always says, well, I already know it, but then still we have this problem. So we have this gap. We know, so that's why we constantly have to do this manana, because then only we'll get more and more deep into the establishment. That's what it is. So now we know that what it is in 25. So now, 35. Oh, 36, sorry. I'm sorry. Now we know what is in 35, so we go to 36. Therefore, see how it starts? Therefore, having realized this...
Atma.
अरे
Oh,
मंजू
welcome.
क्या बात है
क्या बात है?
That is the way to
एक
be
मिनट में
dedicated.
हाँ एक मिनट में ना
हाँ, चलो आ जाओ.
I know.
I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to
We are
come.
all glad to see you after a long time.
Today something very nice happened. Okay, after you all finished little bit,
Okay,
then
tell us.
Yeah.
the whole of Manduk Upanishad on in Harvard medical this thing, Sadhguru gave a lecture. He's given not
Yeah.
as Manduk Upanishad,
But the essence of it.
yeah,
Wow, awesome.
Who's
You
giving?
can-
Sadhguru.
Sadhguru.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Sadhguru knows you're attending a Mandukya class. Okay. So,
You want water?
That Sir Priyananda also is giving next week in
Yeah.
Vedanta Society 2 days.
yeah,
On
on
Monday.
Friday and
But
Saturday,
he'll
right?
be recorded, right? He'll be recorded.
Pardon?
They recorded.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard for everybody to go, but they always record it.
Yeah, normally they broadcast also live,
Yeah.
but I don't know this time they are doing or not.
Then watch it later.
Where you are going to go? The Hillcrest?
No, no,
Society.
Vedanta, the one
Upas.
Upas Street.
Yeah, that's near Hillcrest only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
good.
planning
It's
to
the
go
best.
because it's on Friday. Sunday I cannot do anything.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday. I was
He's
thinking if
very
I
good.
get time. No, morning.
Who's coming?
What time?
You know,
8
there
to
is a
12.
Vedanta Society,
Yeah.
4 hours.
and there is a Sarva Priyananda. He's so amazing on
Yes.
Vedanta.
Oh, yeah, he's coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
he's giving
Joe
yeah.
can
2 days. I'll
forward it.
send you the forward.
Because Joe is
He's in
connected
New
to
York
this.
right now. These days he's
Yeah,
he
he's in
used
New
to
York.
be
He's a
here.
visiting.
He was in
usually.
New York and he was all over. But
Yes.
right now he's coming for 2-day talk
Oh.
between 8 to, I think it's 9 to 12 or something.
Forward
On
it to the group.
He's quite
Friday
often
and
here.
Saturday.
He's quite often we have
That young fellow, that
On Manduk
bald
Upanishad.
one.
He's very very
Talk
good.
is on Mandukya.
Excellent.
Oh wow.
Yeah, oh, he talked, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I think
that-
we all should try to come.
Yeah.
I think he will bring out some amazing
Yeah, he's
things.
very good.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so therefore, having realized Atman to be
Friday
such
something is
nature,
going on,
identify. Okay, let's read the explanation now. You go ahead and read, Nisha.
The connection between this stanza and the previous one has been made very clear by the term therefore. This stanza is the conclusion of idea expressed in the previous stanza. The paragons of Vedas, the great rishis, having conquered their negativities, reached a state of perfection wherein they found themselves no more under the throes of their impotent imaginations, and therefore the sadhakas also must try their best to purify themselves and systematically learn the wisdom observations made in the scriptures. When these great ideas are well digested through reflection and meditation, the meditator's subtle personality drops off its impotent imaginations, fear, attachments, and so on, and at the moment the individual experiences the reality.
So I think that here, as you can see, the most important thing for us is what when he mentioned that these great ideas well digested through reflections and meditation. It's like then only in the subtle personality it will drop off all the impotent imagination, fear and attachments. So we've been talking a lot about fear and attachment. So only intellectually knowing is not going to do any good. We gotta constantly, and that's why sometimes we feel like why they're repeating so many times the same thing again and again. I already know it. No, but we don't live that.
Yeah.
So
It's not ingrained.
yes. So to उसको ना बोलते ना बार ठोकेंगे तभी जाके वो कुछ होएगा because
Even Gita, he said, Vairag फिर अभ्यास.
yes, exactly.
So-
अभ्यास के बिना कुछ भी नहीं होने वाला. And we know that even simple thing like making a roti or whatever, without abhyas, I can't make it. The other day, no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. Just an example. But the reason I'll tell you the other day, that lady, Gujarati lady called us for, and the way she was making dosa, I'm like, my God, I cannot do this.
Yeah, they're experts.
Yeah, so
Clear
but
dosa.
if you not, we are too old now to change anything, but whatever we have been doing, we get good at it. So that's what it is. So
You know,
without
अभ्यास कैसे होता हैगा? In the beginning, you go and sit in. बहुत easily होता है ये चीजों में because this is Bhagwan used to tell us. That's why I got to know. And she was really God realized, 100%. I mean, in whichever angle you spoke to her, her answer was always in one.
yeah, she brought it. You did
Yeah.
that. Yes.
So she used to say, nature में जाके ना बैठो, आकाश के नीचे. Because see, when you're troubled also, you go and sit in nature, so you
Peace.
feel very nice and peaceful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, especially you go to the
you
sea,
start. This is like going to kindergarten. You sit in nature, and you experience the oneness of yourself with everything around. Then after that, in your home environment, like you're cutting vegetables. Yeah, simple task. Cutting vegetables. Then you just give yourself not give yourself a reinforcement, but now you're getting that feel, that how nice it feels when you are in oneness. So then you sort of this thing that जो हम काट रहे हैं, जो सब्जी है उसमें सत्ता किसकी है ना? वो oneness की सत्ता है. ब्रह्म बोलो उसको, love बोलो उसको, knowledge बोलो, truth जो भी बोलो, consciousness बोलो, तो वो conscious की सत्ता है उसमें. That is consciousness. The hand that is moving and cutting it also, there's nothing that happens without consciousness.
Correct.
The consciousness manifested in different forms.
Focus on that consciousness.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
you every time you feel that and enjoy it. Don't sort of thopad on it. You really enjoy it and live it.
Yes.
So then
then
when
your
you're-
job will be very, very good
Yeah.
too.
Then you won't feel it tedious. Yeah.
Tedious.
Yeah.
And it'll become very easy then. You
Yeah,
absolutely
because
right.
when you're enjoying something like you're enjoying music, you don't
That's
have to
called
pretend.
mindfulness.
Yes,
You're
mindfulness.
Yeah,
Exactly,
mindfulness
yes.
bolo, inclusiveness.
They just
polo.
call them mindfulness.
These days they are
And
using
focus,
that word.
focus, mindfulness.
Yeah, now, because see, these words don't exist in English. Now it's coming into the English,
Oh yes.
use
Big
like
time,
guru,
yes.
consciousness, all
Yeah.
these.
Everybody's
what are
talking
these
about
words,
mindfulness.
10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I remember when we used to go to yoga class and all, these words were like new, coming up. So inclusion, that is also making everything, towards you and being in oneness. So that's the way you feel, then you will start feeling it more and more and more because you're enjoying it,
Right.
that oneness, feeling of oneness, you'll keep on,
Doing more. Yes.
yeah, you'll keep on practicing more because it's enjoyable.
You know what you said? I don't know if you guys have heard this story. This is a true story that happened. Tapovan Maharaj is Swamiji's guru. So the one time somebody brought his son to meet with him, and then the guy said, Swamiji, my son is so bad. He's doing all wrong things, drinking. Means he was just going on a completely wrong line. And and wo bhi baitha bhi bahar tha. He was like angry. Why did you bring me here, kind of thing. So then how did Tapovan Maharaj handle him? So Tapovan Maharaj goes to him and says, so how is the sports team doing? He did not talk about Vedanta, nothing. Just made him his friend, talk about his subjects. So then he said, ये तो cool Swami है, so ऐसी बातें कर रहा है. So he started talking too. And he kind of knew in his heart that he's kind of revered by everybody and all. So then he told him, after he kind of struck the relationship with him, before he was going to leave, he said, son, can you do one thing for me? I think you will enjoy it. So he said, yes, what? He's saying that tomorrow, what time you get up? So he said, 7, 8, whatever. He's saying, get up at 5 a.m., just put an alarm and go sit in the garden for 5 minutes. Don't do anything. Just go sit. And then, I know you will be sleepy, come back and you can go back to sleep again. So, itna hi bas, nothing else. So the fellow, after about 6 months and all, he came back again. And the father said, man, this guy's changed. What did you do to him? So then what had happened was that वो उसको लगा कि भाई इतना स्वामी बोल रहा है, खाली एक चीज बोल रहा है, 5 बजे उठ के 5 मिनट के लिए जाना, so कर ही लेता हूँ. So he went and he sat under the tree, and he thought, this is so pretty. ये वो तो वो खूब nature में
मन में शांति हो गई. हाँ.
उसको अच्छा लगा. तो फिर next day again he did that because he thought that he discovered something he never knew, And then after a while he kind of started getting, he said, अच्छा अब सब कुछ देख वेख लिया, पर उसकी एक वो जो habit सी बन गई ना, then he started reflecting upon his life. And then he felt, God, why am I doing all these bad things? And then he started changing because he reflected on what he was doing. So what you said is so true, that when you feel, I don't know how to begin, just begin by sitting in the nature for 5 minutes. And this is a true story.
No, that's because I have practiced it. Hanging garden mein jaake na, we used to just go and sit over there, and we used to walk together, and there were other ladies also, and we all were doing this, so you could really feel.
I mean, in India, a lot of people go for morning walks.
Yeah.
Morning walk.
It is very
evening walk.
refreshing. Yes.
I mean, it's just preventive medicine.
Yes.
Yeah, you're getting so much oxygen, rather
So,
than
yeah,
evening.
physically,
And
mentally,
all
all
that thing of, they're talking about,
Yeah.
these days Sadhguru gave so many lectures on 5 तत्व जो शरीर में है, 5 तत्व महाभूत जो है, तो वो तुमको कमी होती है कि तो तुम बीमार पड़ते हो.
Right. Balance उसका खराब होता है,
तो
कमी
उसमें
पड़ती है.
balance ठीक हो जाता है.
Yeah. Agreed. Did you want to read? I guess the stanza clearly points out.
Okay. The stanza clearly points to the supreme necessity for a knowledge of the Shastras to those who want to walk the path of knowledge. Without knowing the science of religion, one cannot confidently pursue the Jnana Marga. In fact, Shankara and other great Advaitins have repeatedly emphasized the importance of the study of the scriptures, and many of them are of opinion that the very study of the scriptures is a major part of the truth pursuit for all those who are striving in the path of knowledge.
So I think here, as you can see, that he is just giving a lot of importance to scriptures, because I think they keep us on the right path. Otherwise, we will be making so many mistakes. And also I was telling somebody that study of scripture is not that we cannot take it entirely upon ourselves, because we will go in the wrong direction. We need some guidance. Like we are following Chinmayananji's book, or like a guru, or you absolutely need that, because it's a subtle subject. It's very easy to misunderstand and go on the ulta path and start justifying it. So
and also a group, so that you get
yes,
different ideas.
group is very
Like,
important, because same
Shri will say
like-minded
one
people.
thing,
Yes.
Shri will say one thing, and you listen. No,
It
from
reinforces.
this angle, this angle.
Yeah, and then like we share of what has worked for me, and then hey, I didn't never tried this. Let me try this. I think that the whole concept of Chinmaya Mission started with a study group.
Yeah, they were the first ones.
Yes, that they and
Organized.
even they have a whole booklet on how to conduct a study group because of what you said. Because when you hear a passive lecture, then you hear, but then it doesn't become your own until you kind of hash it out. So this is we do the clear our doubts, do mananam, and then we go home, do more deep reflection upon it. So that's true. So that's what this paragraph is saying.
The same thing they use in MBA programs, the case study,
Okay.
that you just take a case and then everybody talks.
Yeah.
So then, you get the benefit of all the people who are attending.
Don't they call it like a think tank or something?
No,
it's
that's
a
different.
case study method
Case study,
of
something
teaching.
has already happened, then you dissect it and
Oh,
see
I
why,
see,
why
I
they
see.
were succeeded.
Okay.
in
And the
that.
think
So
tank
like,
is ulta. They are
like
fun.
Harvard has published their case studies,
Okay.
that what happened, and then in the end they say what was the result. These are actual case that happened.
If you think
So-
about that, Mahabharata is the biggest case study.
Yeah.
Yeah, उसमें सब
Yeah.
कुछ है.
But it has to be finished in
Yeah.
1 hour.
By the way, whoever are lovers of Mahabharata, it started again on if you have Indian channels. My husband
yeah.
just told me on
Which version?
the
Is it
second
the old
one.
one or the?
No, second बहुत interesting है second वाला version.
नहीं, एक में तो बहुत थोड़ा different था ना. They
जो
were-
नया वाला आया था ना अभी जो अभी 2-3
second
साल
one is
पहले.
also very
It
good.
was on
My-
live
My
okay पे
husband has
चालू
seen
है.
that.
अच्छा.
Like Ekta Kapoor ka.
I don't
I
know.
don't
He-
know.
I have seen 2-3 versions, but
This
उसके
is
बाद
on
अब
live
मुझे
okay.
आया.
Acha.
जिसमें वो that Krishna Bhagwan is really tall one.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys can watch it, if you have
Yeah.
that channel, then please record and watch, because it makes you think a lot. They have gone and they have done a.
Deep analysis.
Some people don't like it, but I actually loved it, and the reason they don't like, अरे ये तो था ही नहीं, इन लोग ने तो add कर दिया. Hey, I don't care. It makes me think. It goes, and what they bring out angles that I had never thought about it that way, and it's a very good one. It's not like filmy
Negative
thing.
नहीं है, but they make you, yeah.
They make you also felt that way, yes. So that's what I was saying. Okay.
Okay.
कौन पढ़ेगा पढ़ेंगे?
Okay. Here.
हाँ जी.
Okay. Having thus understood the reality through the scriptures as well as through reason and logic, fix your attention on non-duality. When we have heard and reflected sufficiently upon the idea of non-dual Brahman, intellectually we get more and more convinced of the possibility of a greater reality behind the names and forms, which is eternal and absolute and one without a second. When once the intellect has thus gained its own conviction, the stanza recommends us to live in our mental and physical existence in time with the intellectual conviction.
In tune, I think it says in
Yeah.
existence in
In
tune,
tune.
with intellectual convictions.
In tune, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did you want to elaborate upon this? Yeah.
Elaborate on
If
this?
you feel like.
Well, yeah, with this, with what it says is, when you read scriptures, and what are scriptures telling us, especially Vedanta, is talking about non-dual.
Mm-hmm.
When we listen to it, or when we read, it becomes very convincing, yeah, that is true. But afterwards, whether we can really absorb that, whether we are really convinced about that, that becomes a difficult part. But what it's saying is that that's what you need to reading again and again and behave according to that.
Right. I think that you got.
That's
to
the main
that.
thing they're talking about, and that's the part we need to learn how to do it.
Yeah, that is our sadhana.
That's-
Because हमने अभी बहुत पढ़ भी लिया, we know it, we are
Right.
convinced. Otherwise, we won't come in this group. If we are not convinced that higher things exist, we won't be even coming over here, right? So we know it, but
And
now
also there's a one reality behind everything. So that also, like
That's
that
what is
got
non-dual.
convinced when coming here. Like it got ingrained more.
more.